My name is Arman Vakili, and you and I are going to go through the constitutional amendments together. I did a series already on the Constitution, and you can find the link to that somewhere on here. And if you haven't read through the Constitution, I would recommend you go through it. It's a very enlightening experience. And the reason that we're doing this mainly is because if you're a citizen in the States or a resident, and you kind of want to know what you can do and you can't do, what the rules and regulations of the United States are. That's basically what the Constitution and the amendments are. And the second reason, which in my opinion is the more important reason, is for us to know as a people, so for you and I to know as the people, that we actually have the power. The power is to the people. And as we go through the amendments and you go through everything, you'll kind of come to that conclusion yourself as well. And the reason why this is important is because the media, mass media, wants to make us believe that the power is actually in the hands of a select few. And they demonize these people by, saying the rich people are bad or the government officials are bad, whatever side you're on doesn't really matter, right? They do these things because they want our eyeballs, because it's very fun for us to watch these kinds of things and we get distracted. And through the process, we also forget that we actually have the power. It's not these people that have the power. These people are at our service, right? The reason why government officials are there is to help decide what's best for the people, ideally. And it's like business people become successful and wealthy because they are of service to the people. And so for us to understand that the power is with us is very, very important. And then it begs the question, okay, well, what is my power, right? Like, what are my rights? What can I do? And that is why we're going into the amendments together. So the Fifth Amendment is grand jury, double jeopardy, self-incrimination, due process, and takings. Okay, so let's get into it. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken care for public use without just compensation. So this feels like they're putting several things in one bracket, which, they are. So they're kind of related, but not overtly or directly. So let's go into the interpretation a little bit. Okay, so no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Okay, so can't be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless you're indicted by a grand jury. You're indicted by a grand jury, okay? Except in cases arising the land or naval forces or the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, right? So, except for those cases where the person is in the militia and they're actually in war or public danger or something like that, they can be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime without the presentment of a grand jury. I'm assuming that's what that except means, that exception. And the next piece is going to say, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. So this was a movie they actually made called Double Jeopardy, where it was essentially around the same thing, where it's like if they were subject for the same offense twice, so they were convicted, I think, for the offense. And so since they were already convicted, the person, was wrongfully convicted at the beginning, but they were convicted. And so since they were convicted, they knew that they couldn't be subject to the same offense again. So now they went and actually committed that crime. So it was very, kind of an interesting plot line, but yeah, I believe that's what that means. So nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against themselves, right? So if you don't want to plead guilty, you don't have to. If you don't want to bear witness against yourself, you don't have to. nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, right? So you're innocent until proven guilty type of a thing. You can go through the liberty and property without, you can go through due process for all of these things before being deprived of them, right? So they can't deprive you of your life, kill you, or your liberty, your freedom, or any of your stuff. They can't seize any of your stuff without due process of law, without actually going through some kind of a court case or proceeding, right? This is very, very important. These are very important things to know. So the last one right here, it says, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So that last part seems very business savvy. It's kind of like, if you want to use my stuff, pay me. That's basically it. It's more of a business decision, that last one. And they'll say, yeah, we're not going to take your stuff without paying you. How much they pay you, they'll try to lowball you, I'm sure. But yeah, they're at least going to pay you. So this was a very, very beefy one. This was a very important amendment, amendment number 5. And there were a lot of rights. There was a lot of power in here that, if you understand this, then you can probably navigate the United States more effectively as you move forward. All right, moving to amendment number 6.